Hey, what's going on, world? This is Steve Dabb back with another episode, just giving you an update of my week number two on my quest to become a savvy mobile home investor and eventually a mobile home park owner. So, week two recap, and what I generally do throughout the week is just try to make some small notes to kind of keep up with what I've done in terms of achieving or accomplishing my goals. So one thing I got listed, and one thing that I still continue to do, I believe I mentioned this in week number one, was to listen to John Fadro's podcast, and I average about 1 hour each day. A lot of times I like to do it early in the morning when I'm doing my cardio, kind of before the rest of the house wakes up because it's pretty quiet. Yeah, and it just adds a lot of value. And then if I'm not doing cardio or doing that, is doing a workout, and I'll have a notepad out. I do take very detailed notes while I'm listening, you can see depending on the type of cardio I'm doing, that could be an issue. Sometimes I get on a spin bike. That way I can kind of write small notes as I'm going, albeit messy. See, another thing that I'm reading right now is The Real Estate Investor. I'm sorry, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller. And again, that's something else that I read part of that book each and every day. I actually had a good friend of mine recommend it to me. I had heard about it before, but sometimes it's just good kind of having something put on your mind by somebody else. So definitely appreciative of that. I also ended up purchasing a cell phone specifically to utilize for my mobile home business. As I've alluded to in other videos, I've got multiple businesses that I run, and for me, especially with making an attempt to man those phone lines myself currently, it's just a ton easier for me to just kind of keep things separated. So I went ahead and picked up a another iPhone to specifically utilize for my business line, which I'm excited about that. Once I get around to putting out bandit signs, I am going to use a Google Voice number, but it'll still just ring to that one phone. So I also went ahead and registered a business name in my state. Again, I'm in Indiana right now. And then I attacked another one of the goals that I had set, which was to call at least one mobile home park every day, besides the holidays. So I didn't make any calls on Christmas Day, and I will admit, at first I was nervous about making those phone calls, and I'm really not. I'm not exactly sure what I was nervous about, but I basically had to do some soul searching and just remind myself that I've got to work towards overcoming some of my fears. I don't know what it was fear of. I mean, I love talking to people. I enjoy public speaking. It's just the idea of calling parks and asking them questions about homes for sale or trying to get more information for whatever reason. I guess because it was new to me, it just kind of had me at odds. Uh, Anyways, in addition to that, I went ahead and ordered some business cards. Now, keep in mind, I'm not suggesting that the approach that I'm using is the best way to go about doing things. I happen to be in a position where I have some funds that I can dump into the business early on as I'm getting started up. Now, do I think that the business cards are absolutely necessary or required? Absolutely not. Bandit signs, do I think is absolutely necessary? No. I mean, I could definitely grab a piece of cardboard or something and make my own bandit signs or hang up flyers, or there's a lot of other options that I could take, even as far as door knocking, although right now with COVID going on, that probably isn't the best of ideas. Um, Now, I've already read Deals on Wheels by Lonnie Scruggs, and although it's an old book and some of the information is outdated, one thing that I managed to do was begin reading the book again. So you you will notice by listening to me that I tend to do a fair amount of reading on a daily basis. And the way I'm able to do that is by cutting out a lot of other things in my life that aren't necessarily pertinent or I guess aren't in line with my goals. So, for example, I no longer watch professional sports. I very seldom watch collegiate sports, and that's only like when I have a relative playing. But basically, at some point I came, this is a few years back, but I came to the realization that it didn't make much sense for me to sit and watch. And I'm speaking of professional sports here, but it didn't make a ton of sense for me to sit around watching people run around, whether it's on a field, court, whatever it is, making millions of dollars when I'm not sitting there making millions of dollars. And once I realized that, it was kind of just like it was kind of like going cold turkey. You imagine like somebody giving up smoking cigarettes or something. It was that subtle. I just stopped, and now it's to the point where like I don't even think about it. I know just the other day I was speaking with a client, and he mentioned something about the Raiders being in Las Vegas, and which and I don't know how long that's been the case, but I had no idea that's where the Raiders are. Um, so yeah, it's just freeing up time in my life by getting rid of distractions. Another thing that happened with me is that on iPhones it keeps track of how much time you spend on each app, and I looked at my Facebook, the amount of battery life spent on my Facebook or spent on Facebook, and it was disappointing, honestly. When I realized how much of my time I've wasted aimlessly browsing. So that was something else that I cut out. And what I ended up doing was removing Facebook from my cell phone, and pretty much, I would get on the computer and look on Facebook Marketplace, but essentially I would get on there, look for mobile homes, and then jump back off and go on about my day. Um, Now, I did make a Facebook Marketplace listing when I was, of course, at my computer, and I got some really good feedback. And this is kind of going back to reading Deals on Wheels. One of the things that Lonnie mentioned was just kind of throwing out a mock ad or a dummy ad, if I may. Just taking a couple of pictures and just saying, you've got a home available in the area and putting a price point on it, and just kind of getting an idea of the feedback. And I did find that I was able to get some pretty good feedback in the area and the price point that I chose. And I also began building a buyer's list. Essentially, once they contact me, I let them know that already had an offer put or an application that was already put in. I don't know if it'll be approved or not. And then I basically acquired a bit more information from them. So I've got a buyer's list now. It's not a ton of people, but it's nice to have a start. And I'll continue building that week after week. Huge things that happened in week number 2. At some point during the week, I ended up downloading the Clubhouse app. I kept hearing people talking about it, but what I have come to find out is that the Clubhouse app is an absolute amazing resource. Like if you have an iPhone and you're involved, well, really not even necessarily investing or business or anything, but if you have an iPhone and you love exchanging information or sharing information or whatever it is, like this platform is absolutely amazing. So what ended up happening, I ended up on the Clubhouse app. Somehow I ended up running across, probably searching mobile homes keyword or something. I ended up running across Calvin Ahia, and he's got the mobile home investing full time Facebook group, and he runs chat rooms on there now, and also with that same name. But I seen him on there. I popped into the room that he was on, and or a room that he was getting started. I popped in, chatted with him a little bit, shared some information. So he's one of the people that I follow now, and then I hit the little bell notification so I see every time he goes live. And then another person I ran into was what was Nicole Briscoe, and she's in that mobile home full time investing group also. And to date, she's 7 or 8 months into the game, but I mean, I don't want to get into telling her story because that's her story. She probably has a YouTube page. If I can find it, I'll put it in the comments. Also, I know she's on Instagram, but in terms of like what she's been able to accomplish, like it's nothing short of amazing, and it's definitely inspiring, especially for somebody like me who's just now getting the ball rolling. So she's one of those people. Like if you can look her up, it's Nicole is with the H. I believe it's Nichole, Briscoe. But I'm man, just check out some of the things she has to say. But see on the Clubhouse app, you're in there, you can interact with people, and it's just a plethora of information, a ton of people, a ton of great information. all in one place, and you can interact with them live. This isn't scripted. You go in there, you raise your hand, you get called up to stage, you just speak as if you were talking on the phone to them. Now keep in mind, there are many savvy investors who charge hundreds, if not thousands, or hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to interact with them directly. So this app's a game changer. I'm telling you. And then one other thing that I got done during week 2, I did not close any deals, but I built out my website, mainly. And again, this goes back to probably not necessarily essential, but I mainly did it because it was something that I know how to do on my own from building other websites. So I guess the cost to me was about $10, getting the domain registered or whatever, and then just the time that I allocated towards it. So still building, still taking things a day at a time. And again, this entire playlist is just to kind of the best I can to detail every single thing I've got going on week to week. And again, you will have the option of kind of fast forwarding through these or watching multiple quote unquote week overviews, in a row, and maybe you'll pick up some things that you want to do or some things that you'll do different. But if there's anything I can share that'll help catapult your career or your start into the mobile home space, I'll be happy to do so. Appreciate you for being here. Do me a favor, make sure you like this video if you actually like it, I guess. Subscribe to my channel, comment below, and of course hit that bell notification icon, so you can get a notification each time I upload these, and each time I upload one of these, which will be weekly for the next several weeks. So hey, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate you more than you'll ever realize. I'm going to go ahead and cap this video at about 12 minutes or less, and I'm out. Thanks.